The number one skill we need as network marketing leaders is to be able to actively listen to our team. Have you ever thought about that? I know it's probably not something that we get a lot of training on, and that's why after doing a video last week on this topic, and I hit on some of the active listening skill set, it dawned on me that I really needed to give you more of what I'm really talking about. So today we're going to go into the next episode of active listening. I want to start with this quote by Carl A. Menninger. Listening is an active and strange thing, a creative force. The friends who listen to us are the ones that we move toward. When we are listened to, it creates us, makes us unfold and expand. I think of those greeting cards where you open it up and you get this big scene that pops out. And you know, some of our network marketing team members, are a folded greeting card that has got a huge, beautiful scene. And all you have to do is unfold and expand them. And according to Carl Menninger, active listening is the way to do that. Think about the people you like to talk to. Are they the ones that talk all the time, or are they ones that listen to you talk all the time? We like to be listened to, don't we? Before I get into it, though, let me introduce myself. I'm Connie Suarez. I am a network marketing mentor who is passionate about helping you help your team cross stage. To make sure that you're getting this whole video series, let me encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And when you do that, ring the bell for notifications. Now let's talk about active listening. And I talked some about how we need to, when we're listening to people, we need to focus on them and not interrupt them with our words or our thoughts, and not be planning what we're going to say next while they're still talking. And when we do that, we'll hear better, but we still may not get the whole meaning of what they're saying. And so we have these listening skills that help us to actively listen to them. We direct their thoughts so that we are getting what is really going on with them in regard to the subject at hand. The first skill that we use is called reflective listening. Reflective listening falls into two different modes. One is restating, and the other is rephrasing. We use restating for short sentences or phrases. And when there's a longer thought that is multiple sentences, we most likely will choose rephrasing. Restating is this. You repeat what your friend has just said using their own words. You change the pronoun, and you use the tone. Your tone of voice must be neutral. You're not going to use their tone of voice, and you're not going to raise your voice at the end to make it sound like a question or worse, a challenge. So neutral all the way across. That makes it hard because most of the time we really want, I've trained so many people doing this, and our voice wants to go up at the end, trust me. So here is what it would sound like. Your friend says to you, I will never join a network marketing company. They're fighting words, aren't they? But we're not going to fight. We're going to use something so much more effective. We're going to restate what she just said in a neutral tone of voice. Don't use her tone of voice, and don't let it go up at the end. So, you will never join a network marketing company. So hard, so hard. It's taken years of practice for me not to say you will never join a network marketing company. You hear the difference? You will never join a network marketing company. I'm just saying back what she said. Now, that gives her the chance, first of all, to hear what she said. Sometimes we aren't listening to us either. Another thing that it does is that this is a highly charged comment she made, and she's expecting me to react, probably. When I say that back neutrally to her, it's saying that I accept her right to say that. I accept her right to do it. I'm not going to argue with her about it. What does that do? That is so disarming. The next way that we use reflective listening is rephrasing. So a longer comment, a longer thought will probably need to be rephrased, because you take the most important part of your friend's words and repeat them using their own words still, but you're going to just take part of it. So here is what that would sound like. Your friend says, I'm so busy these days. I felt overwhelmed with this new job. Several thoughts in there, aren't they? Busy, overwhelmed, new job. You have the choice of what's most important to your friend. Pick what you think is most important to your friend. We can be tempted to use what we can use to direct to something we want to share with them. I do it all the time, but that's self-serving. It doesn't serve my friend well. And so in the context that this is my friend and not a prospect, let me remind what she said. I'm so busy these days. I have felt overwhelmed with this new job. And so I am choosing to say, you feel overwhelmed with this new job. No question. Yeah, it would maybe be okay to make it a question, but by making it neutral, we are just letting her hear what she has said. And trust me, she will respond to that and say, well, I love the job, but it's just so many things to do. And I'm glad to get the extra income, but that means that I can't get things done at home. She can go into a lot of stuff. And then what will you do? Well, what you could do if you had interpretive listening is that you could interpret that long statement she just said and say, well, it sounds like it's a big shift in your life. It sounds like you're having a hard time adjusting. It sounds like, and you could give a lot of different. I think we like it sounds like a lot more than the reflective listening, but you have to use the reflective listening first. So here is what it would sound like in a role play. And why do we want to do role play? Well, because reflective listening doesn't come naturally. We really do need to practice it. And what we need to do is, if you can get somebody to role play with you, that is wonderful. Or just intentionally use that from time to time throughout the day. And don't use it all the time. In the role play we're going to look at just now, it will be the one listening skill that my friend uses on me. But ordinarily, in a regular conversation, we would mix it up with the other 5 listening skills. So I decided in this role play, I'd play hardball. I was going to be impossible to convince to join her network marketing business. So I said, I heard you joined Jen in her business. I don't want to discuss it. Okay, my friend could be a lot of things, but she's a reflective listener. She's an active listener, and she's smart. She says, you don't want to discuss it. The voice didn't go up at the end. It wasn't, you don't want to discuss it? Like, what? You just brought it up, and now I'm not supposed to say anything? But with reflective listening, she doesn't have to get in an argument, and she still can respond. You don't want to discuss it. And that gives me a chance to hear what I said. And I will tell you that in this role play, I was so amazed to feel my defenses weaken, because I had determined I wasn't going to be convinced. I was just going to be one of those hard cases. But she had disarmed me with that one, you don't want to discuss it. Not really. It's just that we are a little short. And we're trying to save up so I can quit my job. Okay, that's a setup for us to say, but you can earn lots of money doing this. My friend resisted the urge to tell me that. Instead, she reflected on what I said. You want to quit your job. Me. I have been listened to, and so I'm going to say some more. I am desperate to get out of that job, and we want to start a family. My friend has heard 2 different thoughts. A job that probably isn't very much fun, and a desire to start a family. And my friend will decide which is most important to me, not to her. I can see some network marketing pros turning that I'm desperate to get out of that job into an opportunity. Can't you? But that's not what my friend is. I already know. My friend has already told me that isn't what she wants. And because I'm honoring her, and I'm honoring this process that I know works. So I'm switching hats here. It's my friend that is honoring me. I'm the one that's role-playing desperate to get out of the job. But she hears that my desire to start a family is more important to me. And so she says, you want to start a family. And again, that's 3 times in a row she's restated what I've said. And I'm just going to slip in here. There's another skill that I would usually begin to introduce. But because we haven't talked about that yet, and because we're practicing the restating, we do that. So she repeated back to me, you want to start a family. We have for a couple of years, but the job so drains me that I can't imagine caring for a baby and working. You can't imagine caring for a baby and working. Not while working. I want to be a good mother. My mother went back to work and she wasn't there for me. I would love to join you and Jean, but the timing is terrible. Okay, just in closing, I was role playing and determined to be hard sell. And even then, I I couldn't be because of the reflective listening. Now, I'm going to give you just a little sneak preview of the next skill that I will talk about in the next video. It's called interpretive listening. And in the middle of that, my friend could have said, instead of you want to start a family, she could have used interpretive listening. It sounds like you are in a hard place. It still lets her go on with more about not wanting to work and have children, and a bit of her history of why that's so. So we're going to get into the interpretive listening next time. People like it a lot more. It just seems easier to do, naturally to do, than the reflective listening. But you have to start with the reflective listening to make that connection. You only have to really do it once, but you do have to practice it a gazillion times. So find a role-playing partner. Find somebody in your team that wants to get better at listening to people so that they can help create their team members, help them unfold and expand. To make sure you get that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then do that. Follow me for more of these tips on active listening. Next week, or next time, just a couple of days from now, interpretive listening, the second one in active listening skills. This is Connie Suarez. I'll be in touch.